While the new kids on the block like Mavuika steal the spotlight with their flashy kits, Diluc remains the timeless Pyro powerhouse who's been setting the meta ablaze since day one, and in 2025, he's more relevant than ever thanks to Natlan's reaction buffs and Fontaine's Plunge synergies. The Darknight Hero doesn't need constellations or reruns to dominate. With the right setup, he's your go-to for consistent Vaporize melt, or even high-flying Plunge teams that clear Abyss floors without breaking a sweat. Whether you're a free-to-play veteran pulling him out of the dust, or a newcomer discovering why he's called the Claymore King, this guide turns the winery owner into a one-man inferno. Diluc's normal attack, Tempered Sword, delivers a flurry of swift slashes that build his field time comfortably, especially when infused during his burst. His true bread and butter comes from the elemental skill, Searing Onslaught, which unleashes a rapid combo of 4 pyre-infused strikes, 3 forward lunges followed by a plunging attack that coats enemies in pyro and ramps up his rotation damage like a well-aged vintage. Then there's his elemental burst, Dawn, which summons a blazing ring around him for massive AoE pyro hits, followed by continuous pulses that linger off-field to keep the pressure on while boosting his normal attacks inside the field for that extra swing of devastation. It's a kit built for on-field dominance, scaling off ATK and excelling in reaction-heavy playstyles that make every hit feel like a winery explosion. Kick things off by maxing Diluc's elemental skill first. It's the core of his damage output and what lets him weave those fiery combos seamlessly. Follow that with his normal attack to solidify his field time prowess, and cap it off with the elemental burst for its stellar AoE coverage and infusion utility. Don't sleep on his passives either. They amp up his crit rate against burning foes and regenerate energy from pyro reactions, keeping him cycling without a hitch. Diluc's artifact game revolves around pumping his pyro application into overdrive while balancing crits for those chunky numbers. The top pick is a full 4-piece Crimson Witch of Flames set, which cranks up Vaporize and melt damage by 15% base, and stacks even higher after his skill, turning every reaction into a screen shaker. If you're leaning into Plunge builds with Xianyun, swap the 4-piece Marechaussee Hunter for that 12% crit rate per HP swing, or mix 2-piece Crimson Witch with 2-piece ATK % from Gladiator's Finale for a transitional powerhouse. For main stats, lock in Pyro damage bonus on the Goblet to fuel his Elemental Fury, crit damage or crit rate on the Circlet, depending on your substats to hit that sweet 1-to-2 ratio, and ATK % on the Sands to scale his entire kit without mercy. Substats should chase crit damage and crit rate first, for reliable bursts, then Elemental Mastery to juice reactions in Vape or Melt teams, with ATK %, and a touch of energy recharge to ensure his burst pops every rotation, aim for around 130 to 150% ER if you're energy starved. Diluc's signature in 2025 is 1,000 Blazing Suns. This event Claymore that boosts crit damage and amps normal attack damage after skills, syncing perfectly with his combo flow for meta-shattering Vaporize runs. If that's locked behind events, Wolf's Gravestone takes the crown as the best overall, slamming party-wide attack buffs on low HP foes to make your whole team feel unstoppable. Redhorn Stonethresher is another beast for crit damage fiends, converting defense into raw normal and charge power that shines in Plunge setups. For 5-star alternatives, Serpent Spine from Battle Pass edges out with its stacking damage bonus, though watch the incoming damage. 4 stars like Blackcliff Slasher offer solid crit damage and team attack, while the craftable prototype Archaic is F2P Gold with its AoE proc on hits. Diluc's Metathrone is Vaporize, where he pairs with Jingcho or Yelan for off-field hydro application, Bennett for that attack and heal sandwich, and Kazuha to swirl and shred resistance. Diluc's skill triggers reverse vape for multipliers that vaporize bosses in seconds, for Melt Madness, sub in Rosaria or Layla for cryo shards. Keep Bennett healing and buffing, and let Sucrosi group and VV the enemies, while Diluc's burst pulses melt everything in sight. If you've got Xianyun, go plunge hypercarry with Diluc up front, Farina for fanfare damage and HP flux, Bennett underneath, and Xianyun plunging buffs to double your aerial damage in a Pyro Hydro blender. Overload still slaps in 2025 with Chevreuse enabling the team, Fischl dropping Oz for Electro, and Bennett tanking the knockback. Add a shielder like Zhongli if things get too chaotic. F2P folks, run Diluc with Kaya for budget melt, Shangling for Pyro Resonance, and Lisa or Sucrose for elemental mastery sharing. It's no frills but clears content like a charm. And that's your blueprint to reignite Diluc as the 2025 Pyro legend he was born to be. Elegant swings, explosive reactions, and a cape that screams vintage meta. Whether you're farming domains or topping leaderboards, this build keeps the Darknight Hero eternally relevant. Catch me live on Twitch for pulls and theory crafts, follow on X for the latest hot takes, hop into Discord to share your crit screenshots, and snag some fresh merch at GotchaKing.store. Build smart, burn bright, and become the Gotcha King. See you in the next one.